Hey everybody, welcome to Jerry and Jamie 2 Up. Today we're going to discuss our most recent trip that we took down to Big Bend National Park. I went down with Mark Driscoll. We were supposed to have a few other people with us, but life kicked in and they weren't able to make it. So we just decided we would go down and explore. We were going to do part of the backcountry discovery route and then just part of camping. It was kind of just our first trip of the year, so we were looking forward to getting out and exploring. And if most of you know, we love Big Bend, and if you haven't been to Big Bend National Park, you're missing out. So went down on Saturday, stayed at Mark's house. Uh, then we took off on Sunday and did that wonderful drive down to San Angelo, Texas. We decided we would I didn't wanna kill ourselves driving, so it was a good 5-hour drive from where we left, so it was an easy day. We had a quick little dinner at Olive Garden, and we knew that the next day would be much better. On Monday, we got up, took our time, and headed into the park. We stayed and camped at Rio Grande Village, and folks, I don't know if you guys know, but this time of year can be either cold or warm in Big Bend, and unfortunately, it was really, really warm. When we got to the campsite, there was probably it was pushing 100 degrees. It was pretty warm, and as most of you know, there's not a lot of shade in Big Bend either. So, um, we were warm, but we knew it wasn't gonna be too bad as we came prepared. When we pulled into Rio Grande Village, that campground's really nice. We ran into these 3 guys on, some ADV bikes, a couple Kawasaki Versys 300s, and a guy on a V-Strom 650. And those poor guys just looked defeated. I felt really bad for them. We chatted with them for a good half an hour. They were doing their first, BDR. I think they were from San Antonio, Texas, but, they had been a little overwhelmed, but they seemed to be having a good time, and their bikes were holding up, so not a big deal. We, just hung out, made dinner, hit the it looked like it was gonna wind up to be pretty nice. The wind kinda died down and the temperatures dropped a little bit, but, I was really wrong. Didn't get any video of it, but that evening, the wind blew as hard as I've ever seen in my rooftop tent, and in fact, at about 2 o'clock in the morning, I jumped out of my tent and jumped into the truck to, get some rest because it was just, it was crazy. It's the first time I've ever, experienced that as I, hadn't stayed in the wind in the rooftop tent. I like the rooftop tent, but on this evening, it was really, really bad. So on Tuesday, we get up and, picked up camp and headed over to Terlingua. We're staying in a hip camp there, which was very, very nice. Really enjoyed our time at the hip camp. And we just did some back roads, went over and did Black Gap and a couple other little roads there, but it was fun exploring. We had dinner at the Starlight and just enjoyed the beautiful skies, and the temperatures weren't nearly as bad on this evening. We enjoyed our like I said, the hip camp was really, really nice. I did notice when we got to the hip camp after the day of wheeling that, one of my rear right tire had lost a little air. Didn't think anything about it, just aired it up and went to bed. Crazy little story, there was a couple next to us with folks, 4 kids, and they came rolling in at about 11:30 that night, cooked dinner, had 2 twin one-year-olds, so the babies were crying. The hip camp was amazing. I would stay there again. The experience of sleeping with a crying baby until about 1 o'clock in the morning was not so good. Um, I don't know what the parents were thinking. Again, I'm not being judgy. It's cool that you're taking your kids out, but bringing your one-year-olds home at 11:30 at night and expecting them to have a good evening, probably not the, best planning that I've ever heard of. Wednesday, we got up and we're going to camp in Big Bend State Park, and it was kinda funny. We kinda took our time a little bit. I woke up on that Wednesday morning and had a flat tire, so it wasn't just a little leak. We had to take it into Terlingua. We went to, an auto place there. They said they could get it in about 1 o'clock, so that worked out. So we just jumped in Mark's Jeep and, took off and did a little exploring, and, that was awesome. It was beautiful out there. If you guys haven't been around, Big Bend, it is a pretty desolate place, but there's something really beautiful about that, isolation. It was really nice. We came back, it was getting a little warm, drove by the tire place, we saw my Gladiator sitting there, so it looked like it was done, so really happy about that, so we went inside, the guys were fabulous, they charged me $30, I gave them a couple extra dollars so they could have some lunch, and we were on our way, and, it was a great experience. We went to a coffee place in Terlingua called Ventos, we'd never been there before, and we met up with 3 guys who were all, in a Gladiator, from, Uvalde, Texas. Really nice guys. They all worked at FedEx. We probably chatted with those guys for about an hour and just talked overlanding, and it was great to see younger, guys out there. Their rig wasn't the most built up, but they were out there doing it and really enjoying their time, and it was really pretty cool. It was warm. Again, we were heading over to Big Bend State Park, and I had been thinking to myself, "Boy, it'd be really nice to stay in a hotel and stay a little cooler this evening." And then Mark jumped on the radio and said, "Hey, I think in Presidio there might be a hotel." And he tried to play it off, but we both knew we wanted to get out of the heat. So we rolled into Presidio, tried to find a hotel room, which was non-existent because of some construction going on. So we wound up going to Alpine, which was about 80 miles away, but we stayed in a hotel and got to cool off a little bit and really enjoyed the evening. So I was kind of glad we did that. Thursday, we got up, went over to Fort Davis and the observatory. Really, and I love that place. So just took our time doing that. And then we headed over to the Chilante Hills Hot Springs. I think that's the way you say it. I hope that's the way you say it. Took all dirt over there. That was great. The hot springs was unbelievable. Great little place. I'll put the link down in the description, but it was so much fun. The people were great. It was beautiful. They had a community kitchen. The rooms were nice. The air conditioning worked great. And we met a couple from Mexico there with a couple of kids. They had 3 kids, and boy, just enjoyed our evening talking about anything and everything. It was great getting somebody's perspective on our, world events from another country, and, boy, really enjoyed our time with them, and, that was one of the highlights of the trips. One thing about these trips, folks, is it's the people you get to meet on the trips, and this was no different. It was fantastic, and we really enjoyed ourselves. Headed back to San Antonio, San Angelo on, Friday, stayed in the same hotel, just kinda hung out, and then rolled back into, heading back home on Saturday and Sunday, so, overall, it was a great trip. I love Big Bend, love doing it. I love traveling with Mark. He's a lot of fun, and everything worked out, nothing bad. It was a little warm, but nothing too crazy, but if you guys haven't got down to Big Bend, go check it out. And I think that's about it. Just a quick little short little video. You'll have seen some clips and everything of our trip while I've been talking, and I'll post some pictures here at the end. So until next time, everybody, be kind, have a great time, get your rigs out there and use them. I went to the Motor Expo this week, and there was a lot of built up rigs, but you could tell a lot of those guys hadn't been out using them. Go use your rigs, go explore, and go find an adventure. If you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe to Jerry and Jamie 2 Up, and we will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.